Chapter 2.
I'm Eric Cargill.
And I'm Rachel Elnar, and this is Cheers and Tears.
Design leadership tales retold.
Hey, Eric. So we have two guests to welcome on the podcast. Our first guest is an executive creative director and partner at Graffiti, a Seattle-based digital creative agency. For nearly 2 decades, he's led creative strategy for major clients like Amazon, Starbucks, Getty Images, and Tableau. He's known for his human-centered design approach and has been deeply involved in the design community, serving multiple terms on AIGA Seattle's executive board as programming director, vice president, and president. He lives with his wife, Alexis, and their 2 dogs, Enzo and Ollie. And his leadership retreat buddy is here with us too. This guest is a founder and principal at Mentor Creative Group, a Seattle agency he started in 2014. With over 20 years of design and technology, he leads a team that tackles everything from branding to web development for enterprise clients. He's held leadership roles at Deloitte Digital and AIGA Seattle and has taught at the Art Institutes. He also holds a BFA and MFA degree from the Savannah College of Art and Design. Say hello to Kevin Berger and Aaron Shurts.
All right, guys. Welcome. Hello. Welcome, and thank you, Aaron, for letting us invade your space.
Sure, absolutely. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about the space we're in right now?
Sure.
Like,
I don't know if I can answer it, but
okay.
I mean, yeah, fire away.
This is a gorgeous space. We're in Seattle.
Ballard.
We are in
the Ballard
Ballard
neighborhood of Seattle.
Ballard neighborhood of Seattle. Can you tell us a little bit about the neighborhood you're in?
Yeah, so Ballard historically, and Kevin probably knows even more because he's been here longer than I have, but historically is a Norwegian fishing town. And so if you look out these windows, you'll be able to see kind of the ship canal back here. And if you've seen the show Deadliest Catch, like the big fishing boats that go up to Alaska and the Bering Sea, those are docked over here, many of them at the Fisherman, what's it called?
Fisherman's Terminal.
Yeah,
across the way.
And so that's really where the roots of Ballard started. And then sort of as the years went on and tech became a thing in Seattle, a lot of the fishing industry sort of moved to the suburbs in terms of, because they all used to live here, right? They sort of moved to the suburbs, and then a lot of the tech, which happens downtown, all of those individuals kind of started moving into Ballard. And so Ballard became kind of the area that was like the new and upcoming place to be. And that's really kind of how we ended up here, because our office was in a different space pre-COVID. And once all of that happened, which was where you guys came before, and so you saw that. I'm pretty sure I sent the address. I didn't put on the invite. But,
I think you did.
But I did send it. So yeah, only a mile away or whatever. But so COVID happened, and it was a much bigger space. The dynamic of how you use offices changed. And so then we decided to downsize. And that was kind of how we ended up here. So a smaller space. I know you haven't been upstairs to the work area, but it's really just like a long area with desks where everybody kind of works. And then we had the conference room. Very few of our clients have places to meet anymore either. And so usually when we want to meet in person, this is the room we end up doing it with clients that want to meet because they don't have spaces anymore either.
Let's talk a little bit about your AIGA Seattle background. You both held offices within the chapter. And can you talk about which offices you held and which leadership retreats you went to?
Sure. I guess just starting out, let's see. So I was on the board. I think I served 3 years as programming director. And then from there, I moved into the vice president role and served there for 2 years with Jeff Barlow as president. And then when it was my turn to become president, I brought Aaron on, and he was my vice president. So I was president. So that was, I think, 2011 and 12. Does that sound right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. um, yeah. And then I guess in terms of the leadership retreats that we went to, I think the first one I went to was Omaha, I think, which I don't think you were there, but I recall you were there. That was a fun one. And then after that, we did what? Chattanooga, Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, then Chattanooga, I think.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Yep. Minneapolis, Chattanooga. And then is it Denver? That was the most recent. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I feel like there's others in there too, but who knows? Yeah.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, so I started out in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was on the board there. Never went to a leadership retreat. That was Omaha, which I think we were a smaller chapter, so they would only send a couple people. Then moved to Seattle, and it's kind of funny because Kevin, I remember it was kind of a room like this where we were doing a portfolio review, and I had just moved to Seattle and I missed the board interviews because I was on the board in Charlotte. And I reached out to somebody. It might have been Mark Noterman. I don't really remember. But I said, hey, I'd love to be involved. I just moved here from Charlotte. I was on the board there. Do you need any help? And obviously they were like, yes, because anybody who's a warm body that has experience, you say yes to. And they were like, but we have to interview you. Like, yep, cool, get it. And so after the portfolio review ended, which I participated in, and then as a reviewer, we met in a room kind of like this, and they were all sitting around staring at me. It's like 10 people in this room judging me. And I remember meeting Kevin in that interview.
I remember that.
And it was kind of like...
Was Kevin interviewing you?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe what we were doing is we were being very efficient, where we were doing our reality check, where all the students came in, we were doing the reviews, and then we were taking that time shortly thereafter or during or something like that to then have people come in and do interviews for the board positions.
So I guess the interview went well because they asked me to be the volunteer director. But the funny thing about meeting Kevin and remembering that moment is that we're really good friends, and we have been pretty much since I joined the board.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things, like you meet someone and you can kind of tell that you would hit it off with this person, and we totally did. And so then I joined the board. I was a volunteer director, I think. I think that's right.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Because that was when I was teaching. So I had access to all these students that, were very willing to do something when you told them to. So that worked out really well. That was pretty easy for me to do that position. And then Kevin called me up one day and was like, hey, we'd love if you'd come on and help out as VP. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, well, just so you know, you're kind of signing up for the next 4 years, because at that time, the VP was a 2-year term, and then the president was selected, went straight from VP to president.
Was pretty much pre-decided, that would be the case.
So it was like, okay, got it. Yep, might as well, because this, what else am I going to do? And I loved it. And so I ended up at Minneapolis was my first one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Chattanooga and Denver. So those were the 3 for me.
So you were on the board at Chattanooga prior to Seattle. How long were you?
No, that was in Seattle.
That was in Seattle.
Yeah. So my first leadership retreat
was
in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Then Chattanooga was after that.
Oh, got it. Okay. I thought you had moved from.
No.
Okay.
Omaha was the one that I missed.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what were some of the things that you guys did while you were both in leadership in AIGA Seattle?
I don't know. I think thinking back then, I remember we were really trying to figure out how to run things a little bit more like a business, a little bit more structured. I feel like we were kind of running into the same issues over and over. And it just felt like, okay, how can we get some continuity? How can we kind of like establish some protocol for how we do things so that we can carry that forward and have some memory? And so that was one of our I think that's what we focused on at that time, was really just like, what are the board role, or what are the roles that we need? What are the volunteer roles that we need? How can we give people responsibility and have them be able to kind of grow and be able to build these certain roles and document that and capture that in a way that we could carry it forward. So I remember that being kind of a really big initiative for us. It's like, how can we structure this and what's that look like? Within that, I remember programming also really wanting to kind of dial that in and not have everything be a one-off. We were really finding with AIGA, and I think this is a lot true for a lot of chapters, that a lot of the one-off scenarios, you just put too much work into it, and you're trying to reinvent the wheel every time, and so that can be challenging from a budgetary standpoint as well as just like burnout for people. So we were really trying to figure out how can we kind of make these things a little bit more turnkey and still have really great events. And so I think we came up with like Schmooze, which was kind of just your typical social, like I think all designers just want to kind of get together and hang out and have a drink or two. So we kind of made sure we got someone in charge of that, and that just kind of ran turnkey. So that was just really took one volunteer to kind of coordinate that. I think we did some like kind of like really kind of key, like kind of like skyscraper events where we're going to put a lot of energy into these things. I don't know, I'm kind of hard pressed to think of what they are, but I think we kind of mixed it up. So there's kind of like this foundational programming that went on so that the chapter was busy, it was thriving, there's a lot going on. And then we were able to kind of like insert these various kind of bigger events and such. I remember, I think we did our 25th anniversary party was one of the last parties that we did together. That was a big one.
South Lake Union.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that in South Lake Union.
I was at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a band play.
Yeah, we had a band play. I'm trying to recall, was that the one? Who do we have for that one? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
This is like over 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I think it's okay. I know it's not. I have a friend who's in this cover band called Def Leprechaun. And so another time we actually did a party, and we did that over in Fremont. And I do recall that one. I think we had Robin Ray. She did a great poster for that event, a really cool one. And actually this is kind of, I think, a topic that's really interesting from the AIGA perspective, right? Like you're busy doing all these things. Someone says they know a band, you coordinate with the band. You have this great designer artist that's doing this illustration poster for the event, and then all of a sudden, I have a cabin up on Lopez Island, and so I was doing all these things, and then all of a sudden, I went into there's this little bar and grill on the island. I walk in there and I look, and there's this little poster, and I realize, oh my gosh, this is the same people that we just had play our event. And so it's just kind of weird how all these things come together. And I think that's part of AIGA, is like you just kind of have all these connections that you don't really realize at the time, but then over time they just grow, and it's just such a great experience being able to connect all those dots. So anyway, going back to the event. So yeah, we had the big event. That was a big one for us because what we were really trying to do is recapture some of the history of what was going on, had happened over the 25 years. So we reached out to a lot of the various people who participated in the early days of AIGA Seattle, the fellows. We were really being very particular about selecting a new fellow for that party. And we put together a whole timeline and history and found all these kind of old archival pieces from different studios and such. So it was really fun to really have that opportunity to really celebrate AIGA Seattle and the local design community, and then kind of look also to like what was the future going to look like. And I think that was kind of where we officially passed the baton over to you at that point.
Yeah, hearing you talk kind of just jogging my memory on a lot of this stuff, because I remember when I came on with you, we were looking at the books and we were in the red. Do you remember that? And it was like,
yep,
this isn't good, because everything was sort of handed over, right?
Yeah.
And so part of that business directive that we kind of came up with was, well, we can't be losing money on everything we do. That's not sustainable. That shouldn't be how you run this. And that was a lot of pressure too, finding out after he convinced me to come on, to realize that, oh, you're also on the hook financially if the chapter goes under. I was like, oh, that's great. Cool. How bad is it? Thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
May have left that out.
Right. So I think that was a lot of it, right? Like just looking at, okay, if we're going to do this, that's fine. We should, but actually let's focus on making money on this thing that we're doing. And that was really what kind of drove us, and we did a good job, I think, bringing the chapter out of that.
Yeah.
And then having a solid bank account was like, I think at one point we were like, oh, we've got 80 grand in the bank. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, so we were proud of that, right? But then part of that was because we needed a lot to fund we would do kind of a local conference too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a lot of money. There's a big expense that goes out up front to pay for these things, right? Just like a wedding. And so we would do, it was called Into the Woods. It was sort of like, I think it was Minneapolis did design camp.
Yep.
If I remember
Yeah,
right.
I think originally they had done that.
And they got all upset because we were calling it design camp, I think, is the story I heard.
Yep. So we had to rename it.
So we had to rename it and rebrand it.
Rebrand it.
Because, Minneapolis. We love them. Hi, Seth. The recurring things were interesting. I think the conference was a lot of fun to be a part of. People would fly in, from all over the place, and we'd pull speakers from all over the world to come in and do these events. So it was really cool. And we'd go out usually to a place called Leavenworth, which is a couple hours away from here. And the struggle with that event was that it was hard to make money off of it. So you put so then when I took over as president, and we would do that, I think every couple of years we put one on.
Yeah.
It wasn't an every year thing.
I recall there being a period where we thought we were going to do it, and we kept kind of having to push it out because we didn't get ahead of it in terms of planning. So I think we had a couple of years where we didn't have it, and then we set up that every other year.
Yeah. And so then I took that over, and because I'd helped plan the one before that, and then it was my time to kind of help run it. We moved venues because, again, the focus was, can we make money off this event? It was still really hard to make money off of it, no matter how you did it. But people loved the event so much. It was like, we have to kind of keep doing it, right? And so just knowing that, we were going to lose a little bit no matter what we do.
Were you guys on the board when the mattresses caught on fire and all that stuff? Did you hear about
I remember
this?
the mattress getting dunked into the
Where was
fountain,
that?
I believe.
Or was this
The mattress got dunked into the fountain?
Yes.
No,
I had never even heard that story.
That was an
Something
earlier
caught
one.
on
It might have been
fire.
an earlier time. Yeah.
And
I don't remember the fire.
AIGA Seattle was asked to leave that venue. Like, don't come back.
Is this Sleeping Lady Live?
Sleeping Lady, and then it was after that. It was.
But we were able to come back.
Yeah, I think we eventually were able to go back, but
Because I remember I planned the one at Sleeping Lady. If there was a fire there, I would have remembered that.
No, I feel like it was always there, and then we went to
Suncadia?
Not
Suncadia,
Suncadia.
Yeah.
Where you were there, right?
That was the one that I ran.
That's the one you
Yeah.
ran.
But it wasn't because we weren't allowed at Sleeping Lady. We just didn't
okay.
have the funds really to do it.
Okay, so maybe this has just gotten blown out of
I like the
proportion
story,
over the
though.
years.
We should add to it.
I mean, why not? Why not?
So the mattresses caught on fire, and then they set them down
Then
the
they
river.
put them in the fountain.
And then they put
to
them in the
out.
Right.
to put them out. Do you remember some of the people that you worked with on the board for AIGA Seattle?
Oh, sure. I mean, I even going way back to the beginning, I think it's kind of interesting just to kind of share this. I feel like when I was at the UW and I was doing my undergrad, and after graduating there, I was kind of lost. I wasn't quite sure how to get into the design community, how to kind of get involved. And so a good friend of mine, Elmer Dela Cruz, I remember him saying, like, you got to come down, come to this AIGA thing. At that point, they were mostly kind of social get-togethers in some form, and they'd bring an artist out and talk or what have you. So I remember going down and just right away, like having Terry Marks and Jesse Duquillo, who was one of the early presidents, just really be like open and engaging, and really they remember my name and would and say hi every time I'd go back. And so that really made a big difference for me. I was a pretty shy kid, so I really always think about AIGA and kind of how that had such a big influence on me as a young designer. So I think kind of that's part of the reason why I volunteered all these years and really wanted to be a part of it. So I wanted to kind of help other young designers kind of feel like they have a place and have community. So I want to get that out of the way because I think that really does. Terry Marks is just amazing. Jesse Duquillo, all those guys, I consider them kind of the old guard. But I guess, here we go. Terry Marks coming back around, I guess. So here we go.
Wendy's back.
Wendy's back. Yep. Wendy's back. So yeah, there's just so many great people. I mean, who else?
Yeah, I feel like it's dangerous to start naming names because we're going to forget people, right?
I know.
some of the people that come to mind, Mark Noderman, he's still around.
Yes. Yeah.
He,
Mark's awesome.
yeah.
I think he had every position on the board at some point.
Probably. Gage Mitchell,
Yeah.
he's still around.
Yeah.
Um,
John Close.
John moved to Salt Lake City.
Did he move? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? Brandon Shanley. We all know Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He moved as well, so he's not here anymore. But he was president, and so was Gage
Yeah.
after me.
That's right.
I think it was Gage and then Brandon
Brandon.
after that.
Yeah.
Um,
Jim Craig, I remember being on the board with
Yep.
us.
Christine Johnson, Jenny Lamb.
Yep.
Jenny Lamb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jenny.
Okay.
Yep. She's over at Oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She drove a lot of I think kind of the early UX kind
Yeah.
of programming that we were doing at the chapter. So we're trying to kind of diversify a little bit.
A lot of
Yeah, a
stars.
lot of
So
great
we just got
names.
to
Yeah.
keep going on and on. But
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Amazing.
You guys attended some leadership retreats together. One of my favorite stories is a time in Denver, but we'll get to that. But what are some of the things that you guys remember about those retreats that you attended together, either the actual programming or outside of that?
Well, Kevin and I always shared a room, so that's one thing that I always remember, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Now we're like, what? Share a room? Are you serious? Mainly because of the financial situation that the chapter was in, because the chapter would pay for us to go, but then it would also be like, well, we don't need to spend all this money on everybody staying. So the first one that I attended, and this is the sentiment that I feel like I've heard from many first timers at leadership retreats,
Mhm.
is it's this very eye-opening, almost like blown away, euphoric experience where you're in this place with, I don't know how many people would attend these. Would it be like 1,000, a couple thousand people? I don't remember.
For the leadership retreat?
No, maybe not that many.
It's typical
Like
2 to 300.
300. Yeah.
But you're in these rooms and these meetings with all these people that have the same amount of passion and think the same way you do, and are also into design. Because design is one thing, but then it's everything else that goes along with it that creates this unique experience in this environment. And you can't replicate that, I don't think, at just normal design conferences, because again, design is one thing, but everything else, the fact that we're all volunteers, we all give a great amount of time and effort and thoughtful care into this because we care about it so much. And then you get together and you talk about it. You talk about these issues. Like when we talked about the financial problems, we weren't the only ones with the financial problem, right? You go in there and there's all these other people that are like, you know what? We should talk about this because we actually solved that last year.
Yeah.
And so no matter what the thing was, whatever the topic was, could be programming, whatever, there were so many people that had experienced that before or were in that with you at the same time. And so for me, that was a big thing, realizing, wow, I have immediate connection with all these people across the nation now. And it was like instant friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like college on steroids.
That's a great way to put it.
It's so true. I mean, I think it's just where you really see the power of your network, right? Like you start to kind of you have this network and you have these common people and you counter the same issues and challenges and successes. And it's someone that can relate to you, that you can share and learn from. I mean, that's just such a great community that I think you're exactly right. Like going to those leadership retreats and meeting those people and seeing that they're facing the same challenges you are and overcoming them and learning from them and sharing with them and just getting to spend time with other people. And also people that are geographically from other locations, just realizing that there's just people everywhere, that it's not, I don't know. I think the world can be a little small when you just go to your one university and you stay in your one town and AIJ really opens that up for you.
I think I realized there is the same challenges, even if it's a small chapter or a large chapter. They might not be identical and they're going through different things, but you could teach them, because you have a larger chapter or more membership, or you can learn from them because they've been able to solve it. And so there was no hierarchy, it felt like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I do remember the first time I met Aaron Hamilton from Alaska,
Oh yeah.
because I'd never been to Alaska, and in my head, which is funny to think about because Kevin and I have been to Alaska like 20 times now on fishing trips together. But I remember thinking, wow, they're from Alaska. This like this whole other place. It's like you might as well be from like Germany or something. I was like, how did they even get here?
So
That's
true.
so cool. It is so weird to think. I mean, I think about location, right? You say any state, and you right away connect it to people that you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I feel that pays off too, you know, as you kind of grow, and even after maybe you move on, you're not on the board, like there's still, you know, there's relationships that I've formed where I've been able to get business from that, or even just be able to kind of find resources that maybe help me in my professional life or even my personal life, you know, just getting some good tips on, hey, I'm going to be in town, where should I go to get some good food? So it's just really nice having this family that you can reach out to, and you can and you can find in any corner of the United States. It's pretty cool.
This family is definitely strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, we could probably talk about first name basis, right? And we would know exactly who. And it was just kind of that golden era. Like, I don't think it exists anymore, or maybe it existed for other cohorts or different years or whatnot. But I just feel like that ours is so strong.
Mhm.
And it could be because of the timing of everyone keeping track of each other on Facebook afterwards or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was definitely like a need to, I'll see you at Portland.
Yeah.
I'll see you at Minneapolis. I'll see you at Dallas. Like, everybody is, who's going to be there? Who's going to be there?
Oh yeah, you didn't want to miss out. That was you're always looking forward to those retreats.
Right. All right. So let's talk about debauchery.
Debauchery. Debauchery. Well, you know, I can tell the hot dog story, but I can tell you guys that this story is a lot bigger in my head than in reality. I mean,
I want to hear your version of it.
I mean, my version of it is like, I was new to the board. Like, I had been on the board for maybe a month previously. And so I went to Denver, and then you guys showed up. So to me, you guys were the veterans, the rock stars of the local Seattle design industry. And so I don't know what time it is. It's very late.
It was like 3 a.m.
It's like 3 a.m. It's like 3 a.m. and we're in the lobby, and I don't know who said, let's go get a hot dog, but I was standing there
Sure,
next to you guys. I was probably Aaron.
Was it me? That sounds bad. It sounds like something I would say.
We went and got a hot dog. So now Denver, maybe you remember this, Rachel, there was like a streetcar that went down the middle of this downtown corridor, and just a lot of bedlam happening, especially at 3 a.m. A lot of noise and commotion and everything. And so we go to a hot dog stand, which isn't very far from the hotel, and we grab a hot dog, and none of us are saying a word to each other. But I mean, you guys obviously have chemistry together in terms of you guys have known each other for a long time. And in my mind, it's hilarious that we're standing on this street corner eating hot dogs, not saying a word to each other, but at some point we all like lock eyes with each other and just kind of nod, like recognition of this commotion that's going on. I think there was a fight that broke out at some point, or somebody was trying to break up a fight, and we weren't making any effort to get out of the way. It was just, we were just part of the scene, just like, yeah, okay. I mean, this happens all the time, sort of thing. And it was, you know, I mean, it was just one of those things that I remember as being, you know, a wonderful memory of my first leadership retreat. You know, you guys being there, and you guys asked me to have a hot dog with you. I was like, oh yeah. You know, I was the fanboy.
I love hearing you tell that story because, you know, from my perspective, we were just having a hot dog.
I just remember getting a
No
hot
big
dog.
deal, right?
I do kind of remember the middle of the street thing, because I feel like somebody yelled something, but I don't remember what.
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics. I just remember, yeah, there was a lot of drunk people around, and weird stuff happens, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty inconsequential, but just funny that you got, just watching you guys watch this, like, yeah, this happens to us all the time, sort of thing.
Well, it's pretty typical of leadership retreats, I feel like.
Yeah.
That kind of weird stuff happened all the time.
Oh yeah, and I think what was really interesting is like, if you go to a conference or something, it's very rare that you're gonna have this big community, this big group, this posse that's gonna go to all these different locations, right? Versus I feel like with the leadership retreat, like you all are friends, you get together, like all of a sudden everyone just kind of aligns and you all just crash some, whatever venue, and everyone's there all at once, and it's just so fun to have like all your friends, everyone there, and it's bringing your community with you, I think, which is just, I don't know, it's really cool to have had that experience. And I feel like if that's kind of what all those leadership retreats were like, and kind of going out at night and doing all these things, I feel like they always ended in some kind of pyramid. Like there's always
Well,
the
they didn't
pyramid.
even just end in the pyramid, because I remember Chattanooga, we were doing pyramids in strategic locations across the city.
Yes, that's true. It
It
became
was like,
right?
yeah, there was, I don't know who started that, but it would be like all of a sudden a text message would go out on whatever thing we were on. And it'd be like pyramid at this place at this time. And then everyone would show up there.
So it was like a pyramid scavenger hunt.
Sort of.
Almost. It's
Oh,
like,
Yeah,
awesome.
like where can we do a pyramid?
We did one in
Where's-
the elevator in the hotel. Like we packed as many people in the elevator as we could.
how many?
I don't really remember. There's a
tiers did you
picture somewhere floating around. about
Yeah, I was kind of digging back through my Facebook, just trying to remember some of the like kind of stories from back then. And there were a lot of pyramids. I'd say most of them were like 3 or 4 levels, but I feel like maybe we got up to like 6 or something at one point.
it. Yeah, I was always on the bottom, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. With my Helvetica shirt on.
right.
I love the pyramid. So obviously 3 a.m. you guys were drinking prior, right? Or did you just wake up and
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's so you guys had just come into town, but we crashed the bar because there were only 2 bartenders on duty, or 2 or 3, and we filled the place. We just absolutely filled the place, and I think she sent photos, and yeah, I mean, it's just a sea of people, and they were just overwhelmed by us. And we were exchanging. I was with Gage, and we were taking selfies and saying, "Hey, we're going to this place," and then I get a selfie of Aaron flipping us off, like,
Sounds right.
Yep.
like I'll see you there. Which I considered that a rite of passage at the time. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah, that's exactly how.
Do you remember? This might have been Chattanooga. I can't remember his name. He was maybe you guys do. He was the president of Raleigh at the time. He was the one that all the ladies had a crush on.
Matt Munoz?
Oh,
Matt.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, all I had to do was say crush on, and you're like, oh, Matt Munoz, got it. I remember he was like a slide wizard. Remember, he would like crank out. We would have a conversation. It would be like we'd be in some breakout. This isn't the story, but he would be on some breakout, and there'd be like notes written, and then you'd have to present like to the larger group like what your group talked about, and he would have like a whole presentation, and it was like 10 minutes had gone by, and it was like what?
I forgot about
Remember
that. Yeah.
Now it's like AI would just do that for you. He was like the AI slide wizard of
Totally.
like 2012.
Meanwhile, you're putting your like handwritten scribble stage up on there.
So, and maybe that's where this whole thing came from. And I was like, man, are we allowed to swear on here?
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I was like, I need to fuck with him. Because all the women are like
I know,
falling
just
over
like-
themselves for this guy. I mean, he's cool. Like, I like him, but like, the hell.
Made it worse.
So, and I guess he was a swimmer. I don't know, like at the college level or something. And so there was a pool at the hotel, and I remember I challenged him to a swim off.
Did you
And
really?
and this became like a whole thing. Meanwhile, I don't swim. And this was when I was in better shape because I was always a basketball player. So it was convincing. Okay, yeah, he looked like he could be a swimmer. And I made up this whole fake story. I think it was on Facebook or some group channel that we were all on. And I was like challenging to a swim off at the pool. So then everyone shows up. I just thought it was funny at first. It was just like a funny joke. But then people started taking it seriously. And I never was to begin with. And so then we go out. It's like at 4:00 in the afternoon. And there's the entire retreat is there.
Okay.
And so then we started off, we swim, and I'm not a swimmer, so I just grabbed onto him and like drug him down.
Oh, I
and then like
remember
started
that now.
like running across because I was a lot stronger than he was.
Yeah.
Matt, probably still am.
Them's fighting words.
And so then I win, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Well, I didn't say there was rules." And then first of all, I just made this up to begin with. So that was a story that just thought about. That was one of the good ones.
Great story.
Yeah.
That is. And where was this?
I think it was Chattanooga because
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been Minneapolis because I didn't know him then.
And there wasn't a lot in Chattanooga, so I think we did spent more time like in the hotel.
So that's the only thing I can think of is maybe Chattanooga.
Okay.
But I remember the hotel had this pool and then it had a really big pool deck around it, so it could fit like hundreds of people standing around it, which is what happened. I think even Rick was there.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, and then I forget who. He always had like assistants with him. I don't
Denise
remember.
Wood?
Yeah, it was probably Denise. Yes, I think Denise was there too. Which I think Denise was also a swimmer back in the day.
Okay.
So I don't know how this whole swimming connection came from, which I was suddenly thrown into. But yes, they were all there.
Oh my God. I can't even picture that. The whole retreat around the pool watching you plus Rick Raffay
Yes.
and Denise Wood.
Yep.
All right, guys, we need photos.
Yeah.
We need photos, guys. So please
I mean,
go,
there's probably,
and get
there's
them
probably
photos.
photos that
Okay.
someone else has.
Yeah,
I was
source
swimming.
those
I was
photos.
swimming, so.
And if you look into the camera, you could rematch. I mean, if you want to.
Oh, there you go. If you want to tell Matt.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that there's no rules, so who knows? Well, it'd have to be a different thing. It can't be swimming this time.
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball, possibly.
There you go.
There you go.
Hilarious. All right. Well, I didn't go to Chattanooga, so thank you for sharing that. That helps.
Yeah, I'm sure if we sat here long enough, we'd think of some good ones.
I would love to know a little bit more about the planned pyramids that I had never heard of. Because in Omaha, they just happened whenever, right? We didn't have phones. So how did we connect? Other than the
I remember
Sharpies,
them
I mean.
starting out that way. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
as a new idea, we're all in the room. Hey, let's start a pyramid. A couple people get on top, and then we just kind of like grew and it became a thing. And then you
Right.
find yourself at the next night doing something. All of a sudden, pyramid time, And but then it started to become like it was the goal. It was the objective. Like, where are we going to go, and where are we going to get these?
Where's it gonna
where are we
be?
gonna do these pyramids, and what's unique? The elevator.
Yep. We were doing it on the street because I remember Chattanooga, everything was really far apart. And so
Yeah.
like when you were trying to go to a bar as a group, you'd have to walk like a mile
That's right.
to
And you
get
just
from
stop.
one place to another. So it'd be like a group of people all walking together. And then you'd find another group and you're like, hey, come walk with us. And then eventually it'd be like, stop, pyramid time.
Pyramid time.
So then it would be like in the middle of the street and everyone walking by, the random Chattanoogans were Chattanoogans?
What
I think
the
it's
heck?
Chattanoogans, yeah.
Chattanoogans?
I think that works.
We're like, what is happening?
Yeah, like,
And
what the
then
hell?
I think we recruited some of them or had them take pictures too. And so somehow the pyramid became a thing that everyone just really loved to see, even randoms and sometimes people were annoyed, but for the most part,
I remember maybe like the hotel staff had an issue with it, but other than that,
yeah, there was pyramids in the lobby.
yeah, lobby,
Um,
elevator, hallways. Those are
yeah, but
particular.
sometimes in people's rooms.
Oh, rooms.
Room
Yeah,
parties were
lots of room
always,
parties.
room parties were
Oh, that was always a thing.
always a thing.
Room parties. Somebody talked about between beds. Pyramid
Like
between.
doing a pyramid.
Oh, but
I remember being
Across
part
the
of one
bed.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Like
Virginia,
structurally, how do you? Yeah. I'm trying to.
It had a bottom row and then a row
Yeah.
on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that bottom row just aligned with the
In
top
between
of
the beds,
bed, so
yeah.
then you could get
Yeah.
legs off the side. Yeah.
Okay, 6 a.m. club. Either of you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Varric and I, for sure. I remember
Okay,
that.
you and Barrick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It
probably
always
guilty of
ended up
that.
being like 2 or 3 people at the very end.
Yeah. I remember there's one night, I forget, maybe it was Minneapolis, where we all just went out and I remember just like dancing that whole night and like in that one club. And then just, I felt like after that we went somewhere else. And yeah, before we knew it was 6 a.m.
I remember that 6 a.m. club was always in the hotel lobby,
Yeah.
just sitting there like this at the end.
Yeah. You keep saying like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed.
And then you get to the point where you're like, is it here yet? Is it time yet? And it was always at the end when everyone was leaving. So we'd be up all night and then we'd be saying goodbye to everyone. Because I remember that from Denver specifically. Because people would be getting their flights then, right? And so they'd be leaving. So they'd be checking out and we'd be saying goodbye.
Funneling out. You're wearing the same clothes from last night.
I haven't been to bed yet.
Okay, so the last thing is karaoke. Want to know about this karaoke situation with Alicia?
So, yeah, we ended up going. I don't even know where this was because you don't remember it and you don't remember
It was
it.
Denver.
I vaguely
But I
remember.
I remember it was Denver, but
So
It was
I
I
felt
say
really
Alicia. I
left.
remember it.
Alicia was there and Aaron and Hamilton was there.
And
Maybe Brendan.
yeah, I think so. I think it was Alicia's idea though, wasn't it?
Probably.
I remember someone
because
just
she was
championing this. Like we gotta go
just
do
trying
Denver.
Denver,
Because
so
that's
she knew all the places.
and she'd done all the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go, and I only, at that time, only did one karaoke song. And that was Proud Mary, like the Tina Turner version.
because there was choreography.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be.
Choreography.
And I was like, I'm only doing it if I have backup dancers.
No wonder.
And so that was how that all happened. And because I don't really sing very well, but I can perform, you know?
You nailed it. So yeah.
So there's a lot of this, you know, a lot of jazz hands.
and
Yeah,
shuffling
running in place.
and running in place. And yeah.
Yeah, and everyone, it was like we had never trained a day in our lives, but had been training our whole lives.
Yeah.
Because it all just gelled.
It was a highlight.
That was. It's funny because we mentioned it earlier and I didn't remember it, but now that we've kind of like put the names with it and kind of talked a little bit more, like just come flooding back. Is exactly. I remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was
Is
fun.
it not on the Denver Facebook page?
I mean, I don't know.
Think
I
so.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think
I
so.
couldn't find a lot of documentation of these.
A lot of the really
retreats.
best things that happen have no recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just
Oral
all in the
history.
moment. Yeah. This is the whole point of the podcast.
It's like we're sitting around the campfire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A bunch of cave people.
Yeah.
I just saw one photo.
You saw one.
Just
photo.
one photo with her with sunglasses and doing something like this, and
Yeah,
then
they
you're
all
on the
somehow
side,
they all
and
had
that's it.
Ray-Ban, dark Ray-Bans. I don't know
Okay.
how this happened, but everyone had like outfits all of a sudden.
I'm gonna look on my phone after this, and I saw it. I did see it.
A video.
The video.
Okay, we want to
Yeah.
see it.
I know it exists somewhere.
You know, now you say that, I feel like it was shared out afterwards. I just don't
Yeah.
remember what medium. Was it some other platform that maybe we've forgotten about? Or maybe it was,
Did somebody
Like
get
Flickr or
embarrassed and
something.
take it off?
yeah, it's kind of what I'm wondering. Like it's Flickr or something or.
Flickr. Oh my God.
Let's all date ourselves.
So sad.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was great living all these memories. Hilarious memories, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
let's
great
make
times.
more. Let's do it.
I agree.
Yeah, I wish we could get back into leadership retreats. I mean, are you guys doing anything with leadership now, or do you
Well,
doing
I
anything
mean,
with the community?
Well, the chapter is kind of
Yeah,
it's
chapter's
just
starting up again,
It
so.
kind of COVID hurt the chapter.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that happened, and then there was a lot of figuring out of like who has the MailChimp access.
Yeah, that's all of a
Like,
sudden no one
no one had access to anything.
anything. Yeah.
So I think they've maybe gotten that all figured out now.
Yeah. Sounds like
So it kind of just depends on, where that goes. But I don't know. Life has kind of
we're
changed.
fishing.
Yeah, it's,
Fishing
it's taken
now.
a different path as far as that goes. I mean, I kind of stopped too at that time because I had just started the agency and just had a child. So it was like I can't take on anything else at that point because I kind of rolled off the presidency and then I was like, I got to take a break.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
you did the
similar
same,
to
right?
me. Yeah, I rolled off, and then at that point in my career, just with the agency and just kind of really focusing and a lot more travel, a lot more work. So just kind of different priorities at that point. But I mean, I think the leadership, being a part of that though in all those years, is just so amazing, and it's such a great way of building confidence and just kind of being able to kind of like groom myself for a better position and be more of a leader in my day to day. So I think it's great, and I think you got to leave room for other people to kind of step in and take on those roles and have those learnings as well.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But they need mentors. So I can
Yeah,
tell you
absolutely.
right now, people are just getting back in, not knowing what they're doing and things
Yeah.
like that. So for me, starting this podcast helps to connect those two things together, like
That's cool.
our past and the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely be involved. I think my main thing was I just don't know what it's going to become
Yeah.
quite yet, and into what that means.
Right.
So whether that's just being involved in the design community at large,
Yeah.
or specifically through AIGA or whatever the new thing becomes, that's really where I see myself kind of finding a heading. Now that I'm beyond, my daughter's 10 and the agency's 10, almost 11. So it's kind of like they're both running on their own now, right? so I have a little more time to spend, but yeah, I've done a lot more with my life. I've gotten really involved in the kind of marine industry out here. I'm a certified charter captain now, so like I take people out fishing, and Kevin and I go on these trips, and I'm out on the water probably 2 or 3 days a week in the summer. So it's like I've just found these other things that I wasn't a part of my life then. And so it would be interesting to kind of blend those things together now. So we'll see where all that goes.
You're going to take us out on your boat then.
Well, I offered it, remember?
Yeah.
I offered it. And then, we ended up here,
Which is great.
which is great. It's got brick walls.
Yes.
We'll do it while the chapter's really small.
Good for
Right,
ya.
exactly. Yeah, we'll have our board retreats out on the water.
Well, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Kevin,
Of
Aaron.
course.
Yeah.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
guys.
Yeah.
This is
It's
great.
exciting
Yeah,
doing
this is
this.
great. This is fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We did record, right?
Are we going to do it again?
I don't know.
Cheers and Tears will be back next time with more design leadership tales retold.
Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast with your creative community, design leaders, and friends.
Cheers and Tears Design Leadership Tales Retold is a production of Chapter 2 and hosted by us, Rachel Elnar and Eric Cargill. This episode was produced and edited by Rachel Elnar. Podcast graphics by Eric Cargill. Animation by Verso Design and Megato Design.
The theme music track is Loose Ends by Silver Ships Plastic Oceans. Follow Cheers and Tears on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube podcasts, or wherever you get your audio and video podcasts. Subscribe to our email list at cheersandtears.com so you don't miss an episode.